Well, speak about the Barton organ, because obviously that's played a major role in the success of the theater.
There used to be 25 theater organs that were in their original installations with all of their original pieces and parts.
Okay.
Of the 23 remaining, there's one in Saginaw, Michigan at the Temple Theater. And so we're very proud to say that we have an originally installed instrument that sounds and plays as it did in 1927.
And it's one of the great traditions at the Temple for many of the programs that go on there. They're preceded by an organ prelude, and it's wonderful to see that Barton organ rising up out of the pit, and then of course when it's all done it goes back down, and the sound that fills the theater is magnificent.
Yes, it's a very symbiotic relationship between that instrument and the building. If you were to take the organ out of there and put it anywhere else, it would not sound anything like it does.
Well, and didn't the organ club sort of have a part in keeping the theater functioning before the Shaheens came and rescued the building?
Yes, that's a kind of an interesting story, because the organ club, along with the volunteers that were left from the Temple Theater Arts Association,
Right.
they collaborated and they put together $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And with a $1,000 starting pot,
Right.
they operated the building for 22 years
Good
in
gracious.
black ink.
Okay, well, take us to the transition period when that led up to, because the theater was sold at some point to some Detroit promoter. Is that right?
Yes, it was sold briefly to an underfunded promoter or underfunded enterprise, which was sad. And then during that time, the building was very neglected. It had no heat. They had not done anything to remove the water from the various heating and plumbing systems, and of course they froze, and there were all kinds of problems. But when Dr. Shaheen first looked at the building, he noticed in the attic that it looked like a shower room with water dripping here and there. And what it was is they'd been walking on the roof at some prior time and punctured holes in that membrane roof, tar paper roof.
Right.
And so he said, well, he went to the bank and he said, I haven't made any negotiations yet, but if I don't put a new roof on this building immediately, it won't be worth saving, because all of the plaster would be destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was his goal, and the bank gave him permission to do that.
Because wasn't it close to the wrecking ball time when this occurred?
Yeah. Yes, if that plaster had been totally damaged, there would be no future for the property. Yeah.
Well, now, hasn't the operation of the theater now been turned over from the Shaheens to an arts group?
Yes, that's correct. The Temple Theater Foundation is now the operating mechanism that keeps the building, the lights on, and the stage occupied.
Well, if we possibly have anybody in our television audience that has not been to the Temple Theater, you're missing one of the absolute treasures of the Great Lakes Bay region.